Hi, Rob here. Welcome back to the IELTS writing course. This is part 2 of the task 2 writing public band descriptors. So we're looking at what IELTS is looking for when you answer the question or try to answer the question. So we need to obviously look at what they're looking for and do that. So task response, as we said in part 1, is how well do you answer the question. This is one of the most challenging parts of IELTS writing for many people. Most people don't do it very well and they don't answer the question properly. So we need to get this right. So task response, we need to have a clear position and we need to present, develop and support ideas. So we're going to talk about this. So presenting ideas means showing your ideas, giving your ideas. Developing them means giving more information about them, explaining more about them to make it clearer for the reader. And supporting them means giving evidence. Now there's some ideas some people get quite wrong on this, so we need to be very careful. So let's look at what they're looking for. For an 8, presents a well-developed response to the question with relevant, extended and supported ideas. So extending means to make them longer, and supporting. So we need to give more information and support. 7, look, presents a clear position throughout the response. So the reader must understand your position, your opinion, and be able to see that all the way through your essay. Look at the next point. Presents, extends and supports main ideas, but there may be a tendency to overgeneralize and or supporting ideas may lack focus. Okay. 6, presents a relevant position. So your position is relevant. It is connected to the question. Although the conclusions drawn may be unclear, may become unclear or repetitive. So a lot of people repeat themselves quite a lot, so don't do that. Your conclusions, again, must be clear. So your ideas must be clear to the reader. So this comes back to the brainstorming and planning. Get your ideas first, which is in another video. 5, expresses a position, but the development is not always clear, and there may be no conclusions drawn. So when the reader is reading it, they're not sure where you're going. They're not sure what's going to happen next. And that's connected also to the coherence and cohesion. All of these descriptors are connected. Grammar and vocabulary are connected, task response and grammar are connected, because if the grammar is accurate, then we can understand your position better. If the vocabulary is clearer and more precise, then it's easier to understand your position. So all of these things are connected. And if the structure is good, that helps to answer the question too. So a 4, look, presents a position, but this is unclear. Presents some main ideas, but these are difficult to identify and may be repetitive, irrelevant, or not well supported. So 4 is a bit of a disaster. So look, some tips. Do make your position directly clear by giving your opinion. Give it directly. Say, I think this, or I think that. Make sure it's clear. My opinion, my view, my position is that, blah, blah, blah. That's enough, okay? But higher level writers and native speakers will also use adjectives to show their opinion. Look, this is an excellent idea, a good idea, a bad idea, terrible idea. So we know what you think. You're not saying I think this, but this is a good idea. So it's the adjectives are showing your opinion. For example, free education is a great way to ensure equality of opportunity, which means everyone has equal opportunities, which is a good thing in my opinion. Also, we can use adverbs to show your opinion. Obviously, we should do the same. So it's obvious. It's clear. Clearly, we should do the same. So you know what I think. If I say it's obvious, that means to me it's very clear and we should do it. Unsurprisingly, low levels of education has poor outcomes for society. There's a mistake there. It should be low levels of education have poor outcomes for society. Naughty me. But if I say it's unsurprisingly, it means it's not a surprise to me. So, it's obvious. Do extend and support your ideas. Another mistake. So we just quite simply use, for example, for instance. There are some other transitions as well that you can use. This is covered in the cohesion lessons of this course. For example, in the UK, everyone has access to free education, which has helped many to escape poverty. Okay. So, you need to give examples to support. That's where the support comes from. All right. So basically, make your position clear and support and extend your ideas. Next, make sure your ideas are relevant and directly related to the question. So it's got to be connected to the question. For example, recent research in Korea proved, or according to a survey, blah, 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 don't do that. It's total rubbish, absolute rubbish. You never ever put references about some research or surveys or anything in an IELTS essay because you cannot reference it. And it's probably wrong. How do you know the figures are right? How do I know that you've quoted the right figures? We don't know. We can't check, so don't do it. The moment you do that, it's irrelevant. So if you remember, that means maximum 6 on a good day. But don't do it. It's just a terrible idea. These essays are about general knowledge. So we talk generally about the situation. We don't need to add specific research. This is not really an academic essay, is it? An academic essay in English requires references to books and information, so don't do that. I hope you understand that. I think I'm quite clear. Now, make a point, give an example, and then the result. This is what you're going to do 4 times. Remember 4 ideas: point, example, result, point, example, result, point, example, result, point, example, result. So, there's the point. Here's my idea, my point. A lot of stress is caused by lifestyle factors. Okay? Here's my example. For example, eating lots of sugar is highly addictive, leading to overconsumption. True. This makes people feel down. So this is quite a simple example, but it illustrates my point. Point, example, result. You don't always need a result, but you certainly you're extending and supporting. Extending can mean adding other ideas, can mean paraphrasing, which we will see. Okay, so those are the 4 tips. So on here, make sure your ideas are relevant. Point, example, result. Then we know that we are covering and we are extending and supporting. Okay. So here's an essay from the last lesson. So read this. Take a moment to read this and look for the point, the example, and or the result. So, or the extension. It is true that getting a job often requires a degree, as can be seen in so many job adverts. So there's my point. Many jobs don't require a specific degree, which means that employers just want to hire graduates. Okay, I'm extending it. For example, here's my example. Graduate recruitment consultants and insurance agent jobs will take candidates from any field. Here's the result showing that they, or the support showing that they find degrees valuable. On the other hand, it is often said of arts and humanities students whose degrees are non-employment specific that they are studying courses that contain a lot of useless information. However, employers would argue that the communication, research and critical thinking skills are what are valuable to them rather than the knowledge about something specific such as history and art. So there's an example, isn't there? There's some extension, there's some support. Good, do that. Some more ideas. Look. The advantages for wider society. Crucially, so again, there's an adverb giving my opinion. So I think it's important. Crucial means important. For society as a whole, the better educated your people, the more likely you are to prosper, which means to do well. Indeed, the opposite can also be said, that those countries who do not educate the population well tend to not develop as much. So now I'm extending the idea. I'm talking about the opposite idea. This can be seen in the development of Europe, in which many countries have had high levels of education for a long time. So there's my example. I'm using Europe as an example. Although Europe's not a country, of course, it's a continent. There are many benefits. So this is benefits to the individuals. There are many benefits, often unseen, that result from an individual being university educated. That's my point. For example, graduates have usually examined their subject in depth and have a broader understanding of the context of their field. Example, another result, which can enable them to go on to further study and research. And then the result of all of this means that graduates can expect to have more wisdom and skills such as research, writing, presenting, and critical thinking skills. So more examples, more results. Okay. Really, I think these paragraphs are a bit long. These points are a bit long. 64 words, 68 words. It's a bit long. 45 is plenty, as we will talk about in the structure lesson. And here's the opinion. In conclusion, it is clear that holding a university degree will offer many employment opportunities in the modern economy. I believe that university does have other aims, though. While there are many benefits for the individual's skill set and level of thinking, there are also advantages for the wider society, such as more innovative and competitive workforce. So again, this conclusion's a bit long, but I'm showing you the point is you must have your opinion clearly there. Okie doke. Good. Watch the other videos to produce ideas, structure them, use the right vocabulary and grammar. Thank you very much for your time. I hope your preparation is going super well and that you're enjoying it, and have a fantastic day.